Hello mga mahal! Welcome back to my learning channel. This is One Up Tutorials where you can level up your math skills with me, Miss B. So hello! Nagbabalik na naman po ang inyong resident math teacher na tutulungan kayo para mas maintindihan nyo ang inyong lessons sa math. So as usual, don't forget to like and subscribe. So please like this video if you like it. Subscribe to my channel para updated kayo sa latest lessons na aking ina-upload dito sa aking channel. At para lubos-lubosin nyo na rin, i-click nyo na rin yung bell icon para you will receive email notifications every time I upload new content. Okay? So wala po tayong video today kasi nag-overheat yung telepono ko. Hindi ko alam kung bakit. iPhone, hello, Apple. Anyway, so ang pag-aaralan po natin this week ay probability of events. So we are now talking about probability and we're going to try to illustrate probability of events using the Venn diagram, and we are also going to find the probability of simple events and of the union of events. Okay, so yan po ang ating gagawin. We are now on the 5th week of quarter 3. So hello, nasa second half na po tayo ng third quarter. Malapit na, konting kembot na lang, tapos na tayo. Alright? Sige po, ang objectives natin for today ay to illustrate the probability of events using the Venn diagram and to find the probability of events and of the probability of the union of events. Okay? This is in line with our most essential learning competencies of the week, which are illustrates the probability of unions of two events and find the probability of P sub A union B. Okay? Alright. So, syempre, unahin muna natin ang probability. Now, I know you talked about probability before or you had a background lesson of probability already. So, this is going to be easy. It's just going to be a review of what you learned before. So, what is the probability of something? So, the formal definition of probability is it is the ratio of the number of ways that an event can occur, so that's n sub e, to the total number of outcomes when each outcome is likely to occur. Now, in symbols, ito yung ating formula. The probability of E is equal to n sub E divided by n sub S. N sub E is the number of events that are likely to happen given that specific condition, and then divided by the number of possible outcomes in your sample space. Okay? So let's apply that. We have 15 marbles in a pouch. You have 5 blue, 7 pink, and 3 yellow. What is the probability of getting a blue marble? Now, this one is just the probability of... So, ilan po yung blue marbles natin? 5. And then, we're just going to divide that to the total number of outcomes, which is yung total number of marbles na nasa pouch natin. At yan ay ang 15. So, if we're going to divide that, 5 over 15, that is a fraction. You can actually state it as a decimal or you can just leave it as a fraction because most probabilities naman po ay fraction. They are expressed as a fraction. So, just put it in the lowest terms, and this is 1/3. Okay? So, yan lamang po. Now, how about if we are given a Venn diagram? How do we interpret the data that we are given to find the probability? Now, in this case, dito sa ating Venn diagram na binigay, fractions na yung ibinigay niya. So, that means ito po ay naka-probability na. So, hindi na natin siya kailangang i-compute or i-calculate. Kailangan na lang nating mag-add in case na kailangan nating mag-add. Okay? So, no more, you don't have to use the formula anymore. Okay? Now, how do we get this? We have to find the probability of V, the probability of event B, and then the probability of the union of events V and B. So, if we're going to talk about the probability of V, yan po ay kung ano lang yung nakapasok dun sa circle ni V. Yun yung ibig niya sabihin. So, ang gagawin natin, i-add lang po natin yung ating two fractions that are inside the circle of V, which is 3/5 and 1/10. Yan po ay, this is 6 over 10 plus 1/10, 7 over 10. Okay? Very simple. Now, if we're going to be looking at the probability of B, yan naman po yung nasa loob ni circle B. So as you can see, it's not just 3 over 10, it is 3 over 10 and 1 over 10. So we're going to add those two. You will be left with 4 over 10 or 2/5. And then of course, the last one is the probability of V union B. Now, kapag sinabi nating union, tandaan po, we are adding. Okay? So, i-add lang po natin yung mga fractions na nasa loob ng ating circles. So, that's going to be 3/5 plus 1 over 10 plus 3 over 10. That is actually going to be equal to 1. So, posible po ang probability na 1. Okay? Ibig sabihin yan, you are 100% sure that you can pick any of these two events. Okay? Alright. Now, let's try to talk about the probability of the union of events more. Kasi yun yung topic natin, yung union. Now, given that there are 15 marbles in a pouch, you have same example as kanina. 5 blue, 7 pink, and 3 yellow. What is the probability of getting a blue marble or a yellow marble? So, remember, when we say or, yan po yung union. Okay? So, first, let's illustrate this problem using our Venn diagram. Now, rectangle first. Your sample space is going to be the total number of marbles, which is 15. Now, question. We have different colored marbles. Now, how do we illustrate this using your Venn diagram? Now, we need circles that are not overlapping each other. Bakit? Kasi wala namang marble na sinabi na pareho siyang blue and yellow or blue and pink. Tama? So, at ang pinag-uusapan lang naman is yung dalawang kulay. So, we're going to draw them as two separate circles. So, one will be blue and one will be yellow. And then, ilalagay natin yung kung ilan blue, we have 5. Ilan ang yellow natin? We have 3. Now, may kulang pa dyan, yung pink. Hindi naman kasi siya na-mention dun sa problem, dun sa question na what is the probability, kasi ang hinahanap lang is the union of the blue or the yellow marble. So, what you want is you can just put 7 outside. Okay? Now, ito po ang ating Venn diagram. And now, after drawing our Venn diagram, of course, we're going to solve for the probability of either getting a blue or a yellow marble. So, we're just going to get the union of these two. Ang gagawin lang po natin, i-add lang natin siya. Okay? So, that will be the probability is equal to, hindi lang siya event. Dalawa nga pala siya. So, B union Y, kasi blue or yellow. So, that's going to be kung ilan yung blue plus ilan yung yellow divided by the total number of marbles is 15. So, the probability is 8 over 15. Okay po ba? So, sana malinaw. Actually, this topic is very easy. All you have to remember is kung natatandaan niyo pa ako paano mag-add ng fractions, which is very helpful hanggang senior high school. Gagamitin niyo yan. So, please try to remember how to operate on your fractions. Okay? Alright, let's have another example. What if there's no problem involved? Diretsong Venn diagram lang. So, okay lang yan. We're going to discuss that right now. So, here you have a Venn diagram with a sample space of 40. And then you have two events. Bakit kulang? May circle dapat dito. Anyway, so yan. So you have event A and event B. And then you have several numbers. So these numbers represent the number of elements for each area. Okay? So we're going to look for the probability of A, the probability of B, and the probability of A union B. So all we have to do is look at the data that we are given. So if we're going to be looking for the probability of A, kailangan nyo nasa loob ng circle of A. Tama? So, you're going to add the 13 and the 10. And you're going to divide that with your sample space, which is the total. So, all in all, you will have 23 over 40 for the probability of A. Okay? Now, for the probability of B, you're going to have to look at the items that are inside the circle of B. So, that's going to be 10 plus 12 over 40. That's going to be 22 over 40. We need to always simplify. Remember, always put your fractions in its lowest terms. 11 over 20. Alright? And then last but not the least, we are going to look for the union. So again, when we say union, pagsasama-samahin lang natin, or we're just going to add the numbers that are inside your circles. So that's going to be 13 plus 10 plus 12 over 40. Medyo nalito ako doon ng konti. 40. Okay? So this is going to be 35 over 40. Simplified, that is 7 over 8. Alright? So always remember, your fractions must be put in their lowest terms. Okie dokes. Alright. So now let's proceed to the last example. If I have a D20, so that means this is a 20-sided die. It has the numbers 1 until 20 engraved or painted on it. Now, you have two events. Event A, the number rolled is an odd number. Event B, the number rolled is divisible by 5. So, first, let's take a look at our elements. Okay? So, the elements for your sample space, easy. It's going to be the numbers 1 until 20 because it's a 20-sided die. Okay? Then you have, of course, your event A and your event B. Event A, the number rolled is in odd number. So what are the odd numbers? You have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, etc., etc., up until you reach 19. And then, of course, you have event B, where the number rolled is divisible by 5. So what are the numbers between 1 and 20 that are divisible by 5? You have 5, 10, 15, and 20. Okay? Now, before we go to draw your Venn diagram, you have to imagine first, or you have to look at your given. Are there any shared elements between A and B? Para alam natin if our circles will overlap or not. So, in this case, meron po siyang overlap, or meron silang shared elements, at yun ang 5 at saka 15. Because 5 and 15 are both odd numbers and divisible by 5. So, alam na natin na meron silang intersection na tinatawag. Okay? So, si 5 at si 15. So, we know that there are shared elements. Now, let's look at the numbers. So, ang total number ng ating sample space ay 20. Ang N of A ay 10. There are 10 odd numbers, 1 until 19. And then N of B is 4. Alright? Now, let's proceed to making your Venn diagram. Now, itong gagawin kong solution na ito yung gagamitin nyo when you are answering your worksheet. Now, itong previous slide, you don't have to do this. Okay? This is an optional step. It doesn't have to be there on your solution. Pero itong Venn diagram at saka yung solution for answers, this is what's necessary. Okay? Kung ano yung makikita nyo sa slide na ito. So, let's draw our Venn diagram first. Syempre, we start with your rectangle, your sample space of 20, your overlapping circles, correctly labeled, and then our items. So, dun muna tayo sa overlap. May dalawang items silang magka-overlap, diba? And then, balikan natin, ilan yung N of A? 10. We already have 2 there, so we just need to put an 8. Para 8 plus 2 is 10. And then for B, we have 4. We already have a 2 here, so 2 na lang yung kulang. Question, tapos na ba tayo? Syempre, we're still not done. Why? Because there are still elements missing. Remember, everything that's inside that box should be equal to 20, and we only have 12 here. That's 8 plus 2 plus 2. So, where is the other 8? The other 8 is going to be outside the circles. Okay? So, those are the numbers that do not satisfy our two conditions, which is odd number at saka divisible by 5. Alright? So, please remember that. After drawing your Venn diagram, you can proceed to solving. So, the probability of A happening, you have, ilan yung A natin kanina? N sub A is 10 over our total, which is 20. The probability is half. The probability of B, then, that's going to be 4 over 20, or 1/5. And then finally, of course, you have the probability of A union B. In this case, i-add lang natin yung numbers na nasa loob ng circle. 8 plus 2 plus 2, that is 12 over 20. Or, if we are going to divide both by 4, that is 3/5. Alright? So these are now your answers. So yan lang po ang ating lesson, di ba? Napakadali lang and a very quick lesson lang for this week. I really hope that you get it. If you don't understand anything, please put your questions or comments down on the comment section below. If you have specific problems that you would like me to solve, ilagay nyo lang din yan sa ating comment section. At isosolve ko siya when I have the time. Now, thank you so much for watching another video. You've made it this far. Yay! Congrats! So, maraming salamat. I'll see you guys next week. Paalam!